Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 12th of May 2024 and the price of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market is definitely looking great, isn't it? And it is all because of the FOMC meeting, guys. And there is a very high possibility that the price of Bitcoin could potentially reach a new all-time high. But the cryptocurrency world is absolutely wild, isn't it? And few days ago there was some geopolitical chaos going on between India and Pakistan. But looks like things have calmed down right now. Now talking about politics, guys. Conor McGregor, the two-division champion from UFC, looks like he could be the next president for Ireland. As a matter of fact, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is go ahead and follow his tweet or X. And he did actually post something regarding Mika that is making Ireland great again. And in doing so, he wants to go ahead and onboard Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as well. So what I'll do, guys, in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss the possibility of Bitcoin as a reserve for Ireland. Now look, guys, I cannot stress this enough. When you talk about Bitcoin as a reserve by government institutions, there are positive things to it. At the same time, guys, there are negative things to it as well. So what I want to do in today's episode, I want to go ahead and highlight some of the pros of government Bitcoin reserve. At the same time, guys, there are a couple of negative things as well. Because look, the whole idea of creation of Bitcoin was separation of the money and the state, isn't it? Now right now, because of President Donald Trump being an advocate of Bitcoin, guys, there is anticipation that the prices of Bitcoin would be reaching a new all-time high, but at the same time, there are a couple of negative things to it as well. What if the next administration is a Democrat, and could it be possible for them to go out and dump a lot of the Bitcoin? These are some of the dangers we should be aware of as well, isn't it? And what I want to do is, guys, from a security point of view, I want to go out and highlight some of the considerations for managing a government Bitcoin reserve as well. Let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding this. Now regarding politics, guys, there's a really interesting development regarding Bitcoin event that is scheduled to take place later this year. And last year, President Donald Trump was the speaker at Bitcoin Nashville event, isn't it? But this year is going to be the Vice President Vance who is going to be speaking at the Bitcoin 2025 event. Now regarding Vance, guys, he has been a massive advocate of Bitcoin since a very long time. Now it's going to be really interesting to see if he does make an announcement regarding Bitcoin reserve by the US government. Now in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this. Now the next news, guys, is also connected to politics, and historically, guys, I've always said this, left-leaning ideologies and politicians, they are definitely not fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and a radical left-winger Senate member, that is Elizabeth Warren, she wants to go ahead and put a ban on big tech firms, as she does not want them to go ahead and issue stable coins, so we'll definitely go ahead and discuss her stance regarding this. Now the final news I want to touch base is regarding the Bank of International Settlements. And look, guys, so far as the Bank of International Settlements are concerned, they are massive fans of central bank digital currencies. Now, they have put out a really interesting report. And what I will be doing, guys, is using artificial intelligence, I'll go ahead and release a standalone episode regarding that report. Now, that report talks about cross-border payments, particularly Bitcoin and the use case of stable coins, and what role they are playing in particularly developing countries. So, I'll very briefly go ahead and touch base on this news. But what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go ahead and listen to the entire episode dedicated to this, because that episode will go ahead and give in-depth information regarding this. So we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover, guys, in today's episode. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date series, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is connected to artificial intelligence, and this is connected to schools in United Arab Emirates and the UAE schools, guys. They will be teaching artificial intelligence classes from age 4. So definitely interesting and impactful news, isn't it? Now the second news, guys, is more connected to onboarding users in the cryptocurrency world. And if you have traveled in the United Arab Emirates, guys, you would have definitely seen Emirat petrol station, isn't it? And the UAE fuel provider, guys, they have launched a crypto payment with Crypto.com. And they also want people to go ahead and start paying off with Bitcoin. Now regarding Bitcoin, guys, the idea sounds absolutely great, but I'm really curious to check if people will actually pay Bitcoin for petrol payments, because the prices are definitely pumping up, isn't it? So I really am not sure if people are actually going to be using Bitcoin to go ahead and pay for it. But so far stablecoins are concerned, it is definitely a brilliant use case. So we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform. Check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, if you're using CoinMarketCap, guys, a lot of the reporting structure has changed and looks like they've completely removed a lot of information regarding decentralized finance. So what I'm doing, guys, in today's episode, I'm using a mixture of reports. I'm looking at CoinGecko, I'm looking at DeFiLlama.com in different places as well. Now, regarding the global cryptocurrency market, last weekend, guys, it was on the verge of touching the $3 trillion mark, isn't it? Today looks like it has shattered the numbers, and today the global cryptocurrency market is at $3.45 trillion. And since the last 24 hours, the global cryptocurrency market is up by 2.55%. Now, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume, guys, for a Monday, this number is definitely brilliant, and it is well above the $100 billion mark. It is at $118 billion. Now, the reason why this number is brilliant, because I'm looking at this number in the early hours of Dubai, and technically it is still Sunday in most of the Western countries. So keeping that thing in mind, guys, this number is absolutely brilliant, And more importantly, guys, despite the volume being at $118 billion, it is actually down by 1.90% since the last 24 hours. So it looks like the numbers have definitely pumped up over the weekend, isn't it? Now, so far as the volume in DeFi is concerned, guys, today it is accounting for a staggering $12.89 billion. And since last week, the numbers of decentralized finance is definitely looking good. And DeFi as of today is accounting for 11.12% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And so far as the total value locked connected to real world assets is concerned, guys, I'm looking at the metric via DeFiLlama.com, and it is showing that $12.19 billion is locked in its protocol. Now this dollar value right now seems to be less, guys, but over a period of time, as and when the narrative picks up pace, I wouldn't be surprised if the real world assets total value locked is maybe 5 times of what it is right now. Now let's quickly run through the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchanges. Now Uniswap's numbers definitely picked up quite a lot of pace, and right now it is at $2.95 billion. I cannot think the last time it reached $3 billion, particularly on Monday. This, to be honest, is definitely great sign, isn't it? And I'm pretty much sure, guys, over the weekend a lot of transactions are actually taking place. Now even the second decentralized exchange, that is PancakeSwap, the numbers are definitely looking great, and it is at $2.35 billion. Radium, guys, is at number 3rd, and its 24-hour volume is $939.99 million. Aerodrome is at number 4th, and its 24-hour volume is $756.22 million, whereas Orca is at $755.51 million. Now, to be completely honest, since the last 4 years, this might be the very first time where the numbers, particularly on Monday and technically Sunday in Western countries, are looking that great. So it looks like a lot of activity is actually taking place in decentralized finance. Now, every day in the Blockchain DXB podcast, guys, I used to look at the 24-hour volume of stable coins, isn't it? Unfortunately, guys, I'm unable to find that information via CoinMarketCap. But let's go and look at the market cap of stable coins, because right now it is at a staggering $242.96 billion. And it's needless to say, so far as the volume of stablecoins is concerned, Tether USDT is leading the pack, and its 24-hour volume is $85.54 billion. And if you look at the dominance of stablecoins, guys, Tether USDT is always leading the pack, isn't it? And so far as the dominance of stablecoins is concerned, Tether USDT's dominance is 61.99%. And so far Circle USDC is concerned, guys, its 24-hour volume is at number 2nd, but its 24-hour volume is below the $10 billion mark at $9.01 billion. And so far as FDUSD is concerned, its 24-hour volume is well below the $3 billion mark. It is at $2.26 billion. Now what I want to do next, guys, is I want to run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's dominance, guys, has actually gone down, but at the same time the prices of Bitcoin has pumped up as well. Now last week, guys, Bitcoin's dominance was ranging around the 63 to 64% mark, isn't it? But today the dominance of Bitcoin has actually gone down and it is at 59.80%, whereas Ethereum's dominance looks like it has picked up pace and it is on the verge of touching the 10% mark. Right now it is at 9.10%. Now if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin, guys, it has crossed the $2 trillion mark, and right now it is at $2.06 trillion. And so far as Ethereum's market cap is concerned, it has also crossed the $300 billion mark at $304 billion. Now if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, this number is showing completely different via CoinMarketCap and completely different via CoinGecko. And the reasoning is pretty simple, guys. CoinGecko takes fewer exchanges, but so far as CoinMarketCap is concerned, they take a lot of information. Now you can make an argument that CoinMarketCap does take a lot of unnecessary information, and because of that the volume is increasing. And via CoinMarketCap, the 24-hour volume of Bitcoin is showing as $47.08 billion, but via CoinGecko, guys, it is showing around the $30 billion mark. And so far the 24-hour volume of Ethereum is concerned, via CoinMarketCap, it is showing at $24.99 billion, and via CoinGecko, it is showing around the $18 billion mark. Now what I want to do next, guys, is I want to look at the top meme tokens by market capitalization, and I tend to do this once every week, isn't it? And it's no surprise, guys, that Dogecoin is still leading the pack, and looks like Dogecoin has pumped up a lot over the weekend, guys, because last week it was around the $27 billion mark, but today it is up to $35.20 billion. And so far Shiba Inu is concerned, its market cap is also pumped up, but it is still below the $10 billion mark. It is at $9.57 billion. Pepe Coin, guys, is at $6.09 billion. And President Donald Trump's official meme coin, that is official Trump token, is at $2.77 billion. And at number 5, guys, is Bonk, and its market cap is at $1.79 billion. Now let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin right now is at $103,962. And since the last 24 hours, it is marginally down by 0.07%. But since the last 7 days, it is up by 10.24%. And look, guys, on the 7th of this month, the FOMC meeting did actually take place, isn't it? And based on the FOMC meeting, Federal Chair Jerome Powell did actually make an announcement to keep the interest rate the same. And looks like because of that, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pumped up, isn't it? But the biggest gainer, guys, since the last 7 days is Ethereum. And check this out, guys. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 40.36%. And right now, the price of Ethereum is at $2,526. But since the last 24 hours, it is marginally down by 0.74%. Ripple XRP seems to have pumped up as well. And the price of Ripple is at $2.39. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.60%. But since the last 7 days, it is up by 10.99%. Now look, guys, whether we like it or not, politics and politicians, they do have a very strong say so far as the trajectory and the future of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is concerned, isn't it? Now this is so ironic because Bitcoin was created as a movement to a separation of money and the state. And let's see, guys, maybe in a couple of decades we might be at a time where there is 100% separation of money and the state. Now regarding politics, guys, you definitely need to check out Conor McGregor. And Conor McGregor, guys, is the biggest UFC star of all time. And if you look at his PPV numbers, guys, it is almost 5 times of the second best. And even if you look at the second and third best, guys, their numbers are pumped up only because of Conor McGregor. Now, because of political reasons in Ireland, guys, there's a lot of false allegations regarding him. And left-wing politicians, guys, they often put up misleading information regarding rape allegations. Now, Conor McGregor looks like he's definitely in the right path, guys, and looks like he wants to go out and make Ireland great again. And what happened via Twitter, guys? He did actually tweet that crypto was created to empower people, and he also supports the idea of an Irish Bitcoin reserve. And the reason is simple, guys. He wants to go out and strengthen public's control over the money. Now, look, guys, so far as Ireland is concerned, every Irish person was a fan of Conor McGregor. But the moment he started to say negative things regarding illegal immigrants, guys, now mind you, guys, he talked about illegal immigrants. All of the left-leaning politicians and left-leaning media, guys, they started creating fake news regarding Conor McGregor. And there was a civil case that he actually lost. And mainstream media, guys, particularly in Ireland and UK, they are putting out completely fake news regarding him. But looks like Conor McGregor is taking lessons from President Donald Trump. And he's definitely moving ahead with this ambition of becoming the president of Ireland. Now look, as me personally, I'm a massive fan of mixed martial arts. And to be completely honest, I was one of the biggest haters of Conor McGregor. But when you talk about politics, guys, I 100% support him. And looks like he's definitely on the right path. And based on the tweet, guys, he'll be hosting a Twitter space. And looks like he wants to go out and discuss cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin Reserve. Now, David Bailey of Bitcoin Inc., who's the main guy of Bitcoin Magazine, he did actually reply to his tweet. And Conor McGregor did actually reply him to go out and send him a DM. Now, David Bailey, guys, is one of the OGs in the Bitcoin space, isn't it? And it would be absolutely fantastic if he does go out and join Conor McGregor. And if you do actually follow UFC, guys, Ben Askren is also one of the OGs in the Bitcoin space, and right now Renato Moicano has been a massive advocate of Bitcoin as well. And the former heavyweight champion, that is Francis Ngannou, guys, he was one of the first guys to go out and accept Bitcoin as payment as well. And the time he actually accepted Bitcoin, guys, the price of Bitcoin was hovering around the $30,000 mark, and the price of Bitcoin has pumped up since then, isn't it? Now look, guys, so far sports and Bitcoin is concerned, it is absolutely genius. And regarding Conor McGregor's stance on politics, I 100% support him. Because look, whatever he's saying regarding politics is 100% spot on. And what I'd really recommend you to do is, he does have a brilliant interview with Tucker Carlson. You definitely need to check it out. And I'm really curious to check if he does actually partner with Nigel Farage, who according to me is the king of politics. And Nigel Farage is a massive advocate of Bitcoin as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Ireland does have a new president. And it would be absolutely iconic if Conor McGregor does become the president of Ireland. Now regarding Bitcoin Reserve, there is a lot of misleading information going on. And I cannot stress this enough, guys. President Donald Trump at the Bitcoin Nashville event clearly stated that regarding Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, the only thing that he'll be doing is that he'll not be selling the existing Bitcoin. He never made absolutely any promise regarding buying any Bitcoin. But there is a lot of misleading information stating that President Donald Trump will be buying Bitcoin. Now, one of the reasons why he won't do that is because he'll have to go out and get Congress approval, isn't it? But there is a possibility with the Doge saving by Elon Musk Maybe 10% or 20% can be used to go ahead and buy Bitcoin and put it as a strategic reserve. But according to me, guys, the chances of that thing to happen at the federal level is extremely less. But at the state level, there is a very high possibility. And last week, I talked about the state of New Hampshire. They were the first state and the governor signed the bill into existence. But look, guys, let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and highlight some of the pros of government Bitcoin reserve. And then I want to go ahead and touch base on some of the cons of Bitcoin reserve as well. And more importantly, guys, there are a couple of key considerations for managing a government Bitcoin reserve. Now, regarding the benefits of government reserve, guys, I want to go ahead and touch base on 6 points. The first one is hedge against inflation. The second one is reserve diversification. The third one is Bitcoin as monetary sovereignty. The fourth one is geopolitical leverage. The fifth one is boost to innovation and reputation. And finally, guys, the sixth one is the transparency if it is on-chain, isn't it? And regarding the negatives of government Bitcoin reserve, guys, I do want to go ahead and highlight 6 areas as well. The first one is high volatility. The second one is regulatory and political uncertainty. The third one is cybersecurity risks. The fourth one is environmental criticism, and that's where the whole ESG notion kicks in, isn't it? The fifth one is liquidity constraints. And the sixth one is government interest risk. And after that, guys, I'll go ahead and share my considerations for managing a government Bitcoin reserve. Now let's talk about the positives and pros of government Bitcoin reserve, guys. The first one is hedge against inflation. Now it's needless to say, you know by now that Bitcoin supply is fixed, isn't it? And this, guys, makes it a really strong hedge against fiat currency devaluation. Because so far as fiat currency is concerned, money can be printed absolutely at will. And there's always a saying, whoever is closer to the printer, they are the ones who tend to benefit the most. But in case of Bitcoin, because of Satoshi Nakamoto's genius, that thing cannot happen. Now regarding the second point, that is reserve diversification, guys. When you talk about governments buying Bitcoin and putting it as a reserve, it adds a non-correlated asset class to traditional reserves like gold, even foreign currency and bonds, isn't it? And since the last few days, if I'm not mistaken, the prices of gold has been going down. Now regarding the third point, that is monetary sovereignty, guys. According to me, if a government does put Bitcoin as a reserve, guys, it does reduce dependence on central bank or reserve currency like the US dollar. And with the geopolitical chaos under the Biden administration, guys, the US dollar has suffered a lot, isn't it? And could it be possible in the near future if a democratic leader does actually pick up pace, you might start seeing war and geopolitical chaos once again? And in that case, guys, maybe it is a good idea to have Bitcoin as a reserve. Now the fourth point is also similar, guys, and this is about geopolitical leverage. And having a Bitcoin reserve now does position a country at the forefront of evolving digital economy and also the so-called decentralized and distributed financial system. And the fifth point, guys, is regarding boosting innovation and reputation. And when the government does promise to make Bitcoin as a reserve, guys, it does begin to attract crypto startups, venture capitalists and developers as well. And the entire country's narrative regarding Bitcoin changes, and the country itself is now branding to be tech forward, isn't it? And the country begins to be branded as tech forward. Now so far as Pakistan is concerned, guys, since the last month or so, there are so many developments taking place, particularly regarding Bitcoin. And CZ, the co-founder and former CEO of Binance, guys, he's also part of a council that wants to go out and promote Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now the final point, guys, is regarding transparency. And let's say, guys, if a government does promise to have Bitcoin as a reserve, these Bitcoin reserves can be publicly verified by absolutely anyone in the world. And this, to be honest, enhances government transparency. Now regarding gold, guys, we know the current drama that is currently going on in Fort Knox, isn't it? You just have to take the word that the government is saying that there is gold. You can't go out and audit it. But in case of Bitcoin, guys, absolutely anyone in the world can go out and audit it. And whenever I do consultation, guys, I often talk about the pillars of open blockchain. And open source and the ability to publicly verify absolutely any transactions are probably the most important pillars of Bitcoin and open blockchain. Now look, guys, these are some of the benefits of Bitcoin reserve. But when you talk about the creation of Bitcoin, guys, the whole idea is separation of money and the state, isn't it? So it does not make sense to have Bitcoin as a reserve. So what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and highlight some of the negatives of having Bitcoin as a reserve. Now the first thing is high volatility. And we know how volatile the price of Bitcoin or even cryptocurrencies are. And certain price swings can negatively impact a nation's financial stability, particularly if the nation is really small, let's say like El Salvador, or even Pakistan or Bangladesh for that matter. And the high volatility can negatively impact the financial stability if the reserves aren't well managed. Now regarding the second point, that is regulatory and political uncertainty, guys, Bitcoin status right now is still evolving globally, And we know the left-leaning politicians are definitely not fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And who's to say, guys, in the near future there might be restrictions that could actually impact liquidity or usage. So when you talk about Bitcoin reserve, guys, we need to think of it at least few decades from now as well, isn't it? Now the third one is probably the most important one, and this is connected to cybersecurity risks. And it's needless to say, guys, poor key management can lead to irreversible loss of funds, and state actors from North Korea could also target these reserves. So cybersecurity risk, particularly for politicians, guys, is probably number one in the agenda, isn't it? Now the fourth one, guys, is more connected to left-leaning administration, and they often talk about the negative harm done by Bitcoin mining, and they have a lot of environmental criticism, isn't it? And according to left-leaning administration, guys, holding Bitcoin may attract backlash over its proof-of-work energy consumption. Now you can make an argument, guys, that Bitcoin mining does use the most renewable form of energy, but left-leaning administration, they don't want to hear it, isn't it? Because look, guys, Bitcoin is for the people, and the left-leaning administration or Democrats or Labour Party in the UK for that matter, they want more control over your spending, so they will bring up a lot of ESG concerns. Now to a certain extent, these concerns do make a lot of sense, but if you actually compare it with the benefits that Bitcoin has, guys, there is absolutely no comparison. Now the next point, guys, is regarding liquidity constraints. Now whether we like it or not, guys, let's say if the government do actually make purchases, large-scale purchases by government could disrupt the market and affect price stability as well. Now we know what happened in 2024 when the German government decided to dump a lot of the Bitcoin, isn't it? And the prices kept crashing down day after day. And a lot of people are not happy with what the German government is doing. Now the final point I want to touch base is regarding governance and trust risk, guys. And look, mismanagement, theft, or even internal corruptions related to Bitcoin holdings could completely damage the Bitcoin trust. And that is one of the reasons, guys, there are certain considerations we need to have. So what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and share my expert opinion on managing a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And I want to go ahead and touch base on 6 points once again. The first one is private key management. The second one is custody solution. The third one is legal and regulatory risk. The fourth one is auditing and transparency. The fifth one is risk management strategy. And finally, guys, the exit strategy and liquidity planning. Let's talk about the most important one, that is private key management, guys. Now it's needless to say, not your key, not your Bitcoin. And so far as the private key is concerned, guys, it is what grants access to your Bitcoin, isn't it? And if you actually lose it, it is the end of your Bitcoin. So when you talk about these private key, guys, it should be stored using multi-signature wallets, hardware wallets, or even cold storage. Now look, guys, I do have a second project called as Bitcoin DXB, where I go ahead and share expert opinion on how to go ahead and store your Bitcoin. And if you're, let's say, someone relatively new in the space, there are different steps you can take. And if you're someone, let's say, advanced, what steps you need to take. And finally, guys, for governments and institutions, would it be ideal to go ahead and use a multi-signature wallet, or should you use a hardware wallet or cold storage? All of these things will be available pretty soon. But in the meantime, if you do need expert opinion, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now the second part is more to do with custody solutions, and so far as government Bitcoin reserve is concerned, they have to use the institutional grade custodians to establish a national crypto wallet. Now so far as United States of America is concerned, guys, all of this information is actually published on the White House website, and it would be Scott Bessent, who is the Treasury Secretary, who will be managing all of these things. Now when you talk about custody solutions, you need to consider distributed or decentralized custody, where access requires approval from multi-trusted parties. This could be, let's say, a central bank, auditor, or even a cybersecurity agency. Now the next point is regarding legal and regulatory framework, and I cannot stress this enough, guys. So far as Bitcoin reserve is concerned, there's a lot of misleading and fake news circulating via LinkedIn. Now in order to get information from the first source, the solution is pretty simple, guys. Go to the White House website and just read through the document, and the document is extremely simple to understand. And the document clearly defines who owns the Bitcoin treasury, and in this case it'll be Scott Bessent, who's the Treasury Secretary. Now could it be possible that the Central Bank or Federal Reserve Board should own that? Really, I'm not sure, but that is an idea as well. Or could it be a sovereign wealth fund, which President Donald Trump for the first time in US history has created? So these are things you need to be aware of, guys, particularly when you talk about Bitcoin reserve from a legal and regulatory point of view, because having a legal and regulatory framework, guys, ensures legal clarity on asset classification. Now regarding the next point, this is the most important one, and this is auditing and transparency. And look, guys, it is pretty simple. You have to make holdings auditable using public blockchain addresses. Absolutely anyone in the world should be able to verify it. At the same time, guys, there needs to be periodic reporting. Let's say if there are any purchases, or if this Bitcoin will be used for any purchases, or let's say, guys, if this Bitcoin is used as a decentralized finance, where interest in the form of Bitcoin is generated. These are some transparency things people need to be aware about. Now, the next point, guys, regarding risk management strategy, and this is something which a lot of Bitcoin maximalists may not like, because look, whether we like it or not, guys, Bitcoin is extremely volatile, isn't it? So I hate saying this. I don't think so the government should allocate 100% of its reserve only to Bitcoin. And that is one of the reasons why President Donald Trump created a crypto strategic reserve as well as a Bitcoin strategic reserve. That the moment crypto strategic reserve was announced, a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists were not happy about it. But when you talk about it from a bird's eye view on a national level, guys, according to me, it does make a lot of sense. Now, could it be possible that the government can follow something called as dollar cost averaging? And that is something which El Salvador is doing right now, isn't it? So according to me, guys, the government should not allocate 100% of its reserves only to Bitcoin. Maybe have a basket of cryptocurrencies. And then the government should follow something which President Nayib Bukele of El Salvador is doing. That is dollar cost averaging. Or maybe occasionally go ahead and buy Bitcoin as and when the prices go down. Now the final point, guys, is regarding exit strategy and liquidity planning. Now, it's needless to say that government should have predefined policies for selling, rebalancing, or using Bitcoin during emergencies. And you need to have a proper education and talent development pool, isn't it? Now, look, guys, in the United States of America, a lot of the Republican states, they have their own Bitcoin reserve for the state. And a lot of the states, guys, they have predefined policies for selling and rebalancing. Now, some of the states, they are taking a step further. And any cryptocurrency that is donated will automatically be converted into Bitcoin. This, according to me, guys, is another genius move. So look, guys, when you talk about Bitcoin strategic reserve, government personnel must be trained in Bitcoin technology, security, and risk. And that's one of the reasons why I've launched a project called as Bitcoin DXB. And Bitcoin DXB is catered to politicians, high net worthy individuals, educational institutes, lawyers, as well as government entities. And if you do want to go ahead and support Bitcoin DXB, guys, drop me an email at info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, the next two news, guys, is also connected to US politics, and Vice President JD Vance, guys, will be the speaker at Bitcoin 2025, which is scheduled to take place in Las Vegas. And if I'm not mistaken, guys, this event takes place somewhere in the month of June or July. And the official announcement of JD Vance being at the event was actually put out by Bitcoin Conference. Now, so far as JD Vance is concerned, guys, he's a massive advocate of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies even before President Trump, to be completely honest. And he's very familiar with the crypto world. He, along with Vivek Ramaswamy, guys, who I believe could be the next president in 2028, have been massive advocates of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. As a matter of fact, guys, regarding JD Vance, he did actually disclose back in 2021 that he owned between 100,000 to 250,000 worth of Bitcoin. And he also worked on the libertarian billionaire and investor that is Peter Thiel. And so far as Peter Thiel is concerned, guys, he's a massive crypto advocate, isn't it? Now, just some fun fact, guys. Peter Thiel was one of the first person to advocate President Donald Trump to run for office. And looks like President Donald Trump did actually take his advice. Now, look, guys, so far as US politics is concerned, whatever United States of America does, it does have a dominant effect, be it positive or negative on other countries, isn't it? And historically, I've always said this. So far as US politics is concerned, guys, right-wing ideologies and Republicans, they are massive fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And so far as UK is concerned, guys, conservatives are definitely fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But in UK, so far as the left-leaning administration, that is Labour Party, is concerned, guys, they are definitely not fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And in the United States, the Democrats are massive detractors of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And radical left-leaning senator, that is Elizabeth Warren, guys, she's not a fan of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies either. And she's calling for an outright ban on big tech firms to launch stablecoins. And she's demanding that the bill ban major tech companies like Meta from issuing stablecoins. And here's the crazy thing, guys. She singled out CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who is now a Republican, isn't it? And she's accusing him of trying to re-enter the crypto space and controlling the financial system. Now, just before the US election, guys, Mark Zuckerberg was a Democrat, isn't it? And here's the crazy thing, guys. Elizabeth Warren has also questioned Biden administration's dealing with Binance, especially because the exchange is now strengthening the tie with President Donald Trump, which is more connected to World Liberty Finance Token, isn't it? And here's the crazy but not surprising thing, guys. Along with Pocahontas or Elizabeth Warren, other Senate Democrats have also expressed concerns about Binance's history of legal violations. and Binance is compliant with the US law. Now regarding the GNS Act, guys, it was expected to pass smoothly, but now it has stopped because of left-leaning ideologies, and I've always said this over and over again, guys. Left-leaning ideologies, they are definitely not fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. They are focusing on being woke, and they want to go and censor your speech as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the outcome to Genius Act is. But look, guys, President Donald Trump is definitely making the right moves so far as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency adoption is concerned, and he's focusing a lot on deregulation as well as in it. Now, the next news, guys, which I very briefly want to touch base is regarding the Bank of International Settlement, and they have published a report. And what I've done is, guys, I have released a standalone episode entirely on this report, and this entire episode is done using artificial intelligence, so please feel free to go and check it out. And this report finds that cross-border use of Bitcoin and stablecoins like Tether, USDT and USDC, guys, they have been surging during economic stress and are largely driven by both speculation and payment needs such as remittances. As a matter of fact, as this report clearly states, from 2017 to 2024, cryptocurrency transactions peaked at $2.6 trillion, with stablecoins used heavily in countries with high inflation or costly remittance systems. And the report states that traditional barriers like distance matter less and capital controls are often inactive. And the report also touches base on emerging markets such as Turkey, India as well as Russia are now becoming major players in the crypto hubs, especially after China's crackdown. So what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go and listen to the Blockchain DXB's AR series and let me know what your honest thoughts is regarding this particular episode. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain cryptocurrency world. Now let's go and look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first newscast is a definitely massive news. And UAE schools are going to begin teaching mandatory AI classes from age 4 and above. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because this move is going to be effective starting from next academic year. And children as young as 4 years, guys, will be learning AI concepts, and this decision was announced by Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, who is the vice president and ruler of Dubai. And this initiative is part of UAE's vision to prepare future generations with skills for different and advanced future. Now, private skills are not included in the rollout for now, and no announcement has made regarding them as of yet. But so far as the curriculum is concerned, it aims to provide deep technical understanding of artificial intelligence, including data, algorithms, applications as well as risks. And so far as the ethical awareness is concerned, guys, artificial intelligence will be a core element of the education policy. And the AI curriculum touches base on 7 key areas. The first one is foundational concepts, the second one is data and algorithms, the third one is software use, the fourth one is ethical awareness, the fifth one is real-world applications, the sixth one is innovation and project design, and the seventh one is policies and community engagement. Now this particular curriculum, guys, has 3 cycles. The first cycle is early years, and it focuses on comparing machines and humans through playful and visual learning. And so far cycle 2 is concerned, this is focused on middle years. And check this out, guys, students will design AI systems and learn about bias and ethics. And so far as the third cycle is concerned, it is focused on secondary level, and it will be focused on training in command engineering, on real-world simulations and career readiness. So definitely powerful news. And artificial intelligence, guys, will be integrated into the subject called computing, creative design and innovation, and designated AI teachers will deliver the lessons during ministry-provided lesson plans, guides as well as models. Now this initiative reflects the UAE's broader AI-driven development strategy, and Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed emphasized the need for global AI collaboration to enhance quality of life and growth. Definitely brilliant and genius news, and I'm pretty much sure, guys, other countries all over the world will start doing something similar, isn't it? And look, guys, with President Donald Trump having great relationship with United Arab Emirates as well as the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I'm pretty much sure things are looking great for the artificial intelligence industry. And President Donald Trump, guys, this week will be making his first official trip out of his country as a president of the United States of America. And the first country he'll be attending will be Saudi Arabia, followed by Qatar and United Arab Emirates. So definitely brilliant news. Now let's go ahead and talk about second news, guys. And this is connected to cryptocurrencies. And UAE fuel provider Emirat, guys, they have launched crypto payments with Crypto.com. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now if you've been to UAE, you have definitely seen Emirat, isn't it? And they are a major UAE fuel provider, and they are partnered with Crypto.com to enable cryptocurrency payment at its station. Now this initiative rollout includes 10 fuel stations across the United Arab Emirates, and this, guys, marks the first phase of Emirat's crypto integration. And Emirat plans to expand crypto payments across 155 stations, primarily in Dubai and the Northern Emirates. Now, this particular move does strengthen UAE's growing reputation as a fintech and crypto innovation hub, and this partnership aims to enhance retail convenience and customer experience at Emirat fuel stations. And so far as this news is concerned, a flagship fuel station has been launched in Al Wasl Road in Dubai, and it is named as EmiratXCrypto.com service station. And this, guys, is part of the world's first fuel station naming rights program, and it is called as Project Landmark. And the Project Landmark initiative introduces branding partnership for fuel stations, which is a global first, isn't it? And we know Crypto.com is a leading global crypto exchange and payment platform. Now, Emirat's move reflects a growing acceptance of digital assets in the Middle East and North African region, and the US progressive blockchain strategy and crypto-friendly regulations are accelerating digital adoption as well. And this partnership does align with Dubai's broader smart city and digital economy vision as well, isn't it? And look, as the integration of crypto payments is part of a strategic focus on innovation and digital transformation as well, isn't it? And crypto payments at Emirat stations are intended to redefine retail convenience in the fuel sector. And Emirat emphasized a shared commitment with Crypto.com to cutting-edge customer experiences as well. And so far as crypto payments are concerned, guys, they will now be available to Crypto.com app as well as the wallet services. And look, as initiatives such as this does set a regional precedent for digital payments in traditional sectors like fuel retail, isn't it? So definitely barely move. So these were the newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain, cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by John who asks, would you pay for fuel using crypto at Emirat stations? Why or why not? This, to be honest, John, is such a really interesting question. Now, when you talk about cryptocurrencies, particularly, let's say, at a petrol station, the only thing I might actually end up paying is, let's say, stable coins. But other than that, I will definitely not use any cryptocurrencies. And this is just my honest opinion. And look, the reasoning is pretty simple. Why take a risk if the prices would actually be pumping up for other cryptocurrencies or even meme coins for that matter? But so far, stable coins is concerned, the prices are going to remain exactly the same as it. Now, what I tend to do is, John, whenever I offer consultation or let's say if I have paid guests, I do ask them to pay me in fiat currencies. And that is what I tend to use for my day-to-day expenses. But when you talk about cryptocurrencies as such, I very strongly believe in the hodl mentality, that is hold on to dear life. Because why take a risk if the prices will be pumping up? But so far stablecoins is concerned, the value is going to remain exactly the same as it. So to answer your question, for someone who's really immersed in the so-called cryptocurrency and blockchain space, I do think that this particular move by Emirat is a landmark shift for the UAE space, not just in the technological space but even culturally speaking. And it does signal a mainstream embrace for decentralized finance, isn't it? But look, John, I also have a second podcast called as the Race-Based Podcast. And the Race-Based Podcast is all about efficiency and simplicity, isn't it? And one of the reasons why I started that podcast is purely because of work-life balance. But I realized that a lot of people I'm talking in the second podcast, that is Race-Based Podcast, they are much more intellectually capable of handling cryptocurrencies. And I do interview a lot of endurance athletes. And if you actually listen to a lot of these endurance athletes, they very well know what cryptocurrencies are. And I often ask them, would you be willing to accept cryptocurrencies as form of payments? But immediately they talk about the volatility. But at the same time, they're more than happy to accept cryptocurrencies as a form of payment as well. But regarding your question, will they be willing to spend it out? Really, I'm not sure, to be completely honest. But look, me personally, I'll only use stablecoins as such. I will definitely not use any cryptocurrencies, even if the value of the cryptocurrencies is going down. But that is just my honest opinion. But really interesting question, John. And that's about all, guys, on the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, we have the Blockchain DXB podcast where we cover top news and information. We also look at the process of Bitcoin, decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies. And then we also look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East on the Bitcoin, cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence world. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye bye.